Under 14 Iron Final. 4 races left on the beach today. North Burleigh closest to us. And this is interesting, Kerry. We're seeing a few of the competitors already change their order and run down to the right-hand side.
Yeah, look, I think it's just a bit of a better bank on the right. They can run a bit further on the bank because actually there's a little bit of a sweep that we're watching on our screen that does travel a little to the left. But I think they think the advantage is staying on their legs and running that bank a little bit further.
Absolutely, and this is where we'll see some of the swimmers that we saw feature in that surf race earlier today. We can see Northcliffe in the mix, North Curl, Cooks Hill in there as well. We'll pick up some more caps on the way out. These girls will be looking to just find a nice little rhythm on the way out, position themselves well. As you said, you want to be in that first pack, but you're not going to be blowing all of your cookies and all of your energy just in this first swim.
No, they'll find that pace that they know they can maintain. The races is going to be changing from halfway home, isn't it? The changeover and then back out to sea on their board legs. So it's about matter of staying in touch and being in that lead pack. That's all you have to do if your swim's not your strongest, is to get on that front pack's wash. Stay on their feet for as long as you can, because it is going to be impacted when you get to the wave zone on the way home.
Absolutely, and speaking of waves, we can see a little bit of white water starting to come through. It's not going to cause the girls too much trouble, but you do have to keep on looking forward. Remember, the advice is always go deep, go early in the bigger surf, but for now they can nearly just scoot under those little white caps.
The waves aren't heavy enough to worry about having to dive too deep. So, sometimes in a surf race you don't have to actually go up and over every wave. You can just sort of slice through some of those green waves ones, just make sure a little bit more efficient as you're going out. But they've taken a good line, these girls. They're all fairly well on track. There's a little to the right. They'll have to swim back to the left. There's, I think, is Alex?
Alex is in the mix. I think we've got one or two in there. No, that's North Curl, 1 and 2 at the moment. Northcliffe in 3. That's North Bondi behind BHMP in the mix. Tannum, I think, might be in there, so maybe Redhead. North Burleigh as well. I tell you what, this is where it gets messy. So we can see a few of the girls getting pushed under here at the can as well. That is rough. But again, we've seen this in a few races. The girls and the boys are just getting caught out, and they're having to swing back each time, and they're losing ground every time.
Yeah, if you're on the inside and you've missed that timing, you're paying a big price. Now, that leader that got around that can nice and cleanly is a buoy length ahead now.
That is huge. She has really... This is where you see the strategy start to come in the races here, Kerry. She's picked up a certain point in the race, and that's where she's put the hammer down, and that's where she's got her speed. You can see her stroke rate and her kick rate at the moment is absolutely fantastic. This is where she wants to make her mark and really get a gap on the rest of the field.
Yeah, she's done that, hasn't she? She's got probably, and her rating's just picked up now.
Really
I think
good.
she saw that little bit of a swell that she might be able to get a run off here. She's using her legs. I think she'll want to come over and cover some of these athletes. There's a Northcliffe girl who is taking a much better line, and she's leading that pack through. She's got to be careful. The girl in front, she might miss some of these waves or opportunity. It just looks like there's a little bit of a hole on the right-hand side here, so just got to watch that pack doesn't come through on a wave.
And that's where it's so tough, Kerry. Like, you have to make a decision and you have to back yourself. Yeah. Sometimes it's going to pay off, and sometimes, unfortunately, it's just not going to, because that is the luck of the ocean. It can be very, very cruel sometimes.
Yeah, and it is hard when you're the lead person. You've got to make that call. I'm not sure if she's looked up too much, whether she's looked for a line, but she's just put her head down through that gutter now. She's missed that opportunity to catch any big waves. She's got to swim through the gutter now. She's way out on her own here to the right. This Northcliffe girls, I really like her line that she's taken. She's a little bit closer to where the waves are, but no, she's nice. She's got on a little white water now.
I'm really hoping this is going to double up for her.
She is going to have to run back a little.
But this is where the tactics may or may not make a decision, and you've got to think, we've still got 3 iron races to run later today. Everyone on the beach is going to be watching these to think, now what decision do I make? We can see Northcliffe now really starting to move through the field here. We saw she had a bit of bad luck in that swim earlier today. Wouldn't it be amazing for her to be able to come back and get some of that good luck now?
She had to battle line in the end. She picked up that wave. She's closer to that turning can. Look at that run leg. It's quite long. It's probably a good 150 metres to get around that run. She looks comfortable at the moment. For her, it's just about getting on her board and nice and cleanly and working that section just to the back of the break. North Curl, here she comes. Another North Curl girl.
This is where we can see the girls starting to come through. BHMP in the mix. Alex looking like they're hurting a little bit as they come through. But this is where some of those craft specialists will start to come to the fore. We've got 2 Alex in the mix here. It would be lovely to see some of our local competitors challenging for the podium now. But the girls really need to maintain their focus and their momentum and that drive right now just to get through this little tricky part.
Yeah, and it's hard work when you've just come off a 3-minute swim and you've just transferred that energy from your arms back to your legs, and then you're back to your arms. So that is what they train for, but it is all the same not an easy thing to do when you're racing. So that North Curl is just caught up that little gap that
Done
Northcliffe
really well.
had. I think Northcliffe just struggled a little bit on the way out, just getting her legs up and over, but they're laying down. They've got a good line. They've taken that inside line. There seems to be a nice little run out there where they hardly get tapped. But they're on their bellies. They're just keeping their rhythm now. They've got to get through this first wave nice and cleanly.
I love that North Curl just didn't even break her rating through there. She's like, no, I've got this.
Yeah.
I'm going through. And I love as well that neither of the girls have opted to drop back a bit, maybe grab some wash. They're like, no, I'm going to back myself to get to that front can. But have a look at the rating on North Curl now. If I'm talking about people choosing not to drop back, she's choosing to go to the front, and I love it.
Yeah, well, she took it to the front. Right, she just got to make sure she manages her line home. The Northcliffe girl had a better line and got the advantage on the way in on the swim. She just struggled a little bit on the way out, but she's finding her rhythm again. She might have just felt a little bit tired, but I can see her ratings picking up now.
Absolutely.
So
and it's BHMP.
It's a race for two at the moment.
Yeah, and BHMP in third. So these are the caps that we have been seeing a little bit in the 14 girls so far today. So some usual suspects starting to come to the fore, and that's what I love about Aussies. Like, we're discovering a whole new pool of talent coming through.
That's right.
And these are the ladies who are leading the way. Again, the girls are just getting caught on this can each time. It must be really strong out there.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit tiredness too.
I'll tell you what, we've got the man on the beach, Harold Marshall, for another update.
Yeah, so just down here at the transition area, we talked about that dropping tide. It's really, really hard down here, so the girls are having to get up really early. A young lady from Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park, she was flying on the transition there, so I wouldn't be surprised to see her up there towards that finish line. But again, a huge bank coming through, really, really hard on the legs. The girls were hurting the whole way through. We've got that last probably 100 metres to go, coming into the wave zone, but just coming out, we'll see with the next lot as well, heading out through. A few of the girls nearly missed that can again with that swoop heading down to the south, but back to the beach, we've got that leader just coming in on a wave. Let's take us through it, ladies. What's going on?
Oh my gosh, Harold, you are going to want to watch this footage when you come back tonight. The facial expressions on the North Curl girl are just giving me life right now. She had to work so hard to pick up this wave. She has got the biggest smile on her face right now. She knows that she's about to wrap up an under 14 Ironwoman title. This is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, she picked that, didn't she? She knew that she had to control that wave, and she's done that. And it looks like there's a pack going to catch this Northcliffe girl, but here she comes. She worked that race beautifully. She's definitely fitter. Look how fast she's running now. She's won this under 14 at one point.
And won it convincingly. She really set it up beautifully in that swim, and then the board just did everything right. She worked hard on the way home, and it was rewarded now with an Aussie title. And look at that, there's clear distance behind her, but I tell you what, we're about to see some traffic come around that pink can.
Here
Look
the
at
race
the
is
chase
on
back.
now. Here it is.
Could North Curl go 1 and 2? They might go 1 and 3. We'll see what caps we've got in the mix here. This is where it gets interesting. Redhead in 2, North Curl in 3, but the sprint is on. They're trying to hold on. Tugan is in the chase as well. Alexandra Headlands, BHMP. It's going to be Redhead coming through, and I do not want to pick 3 and 4 right now.
And 5th was Alex, I think. So
wow.
To the local girl there.
How good is this? Your first Aussie titles, a sprint finish for your iron medals. This is what we want. I think Harold has made himself comfortable on the beach. He's down there with our winner.
It's been something I've definitely been working towards this whole past 9 months, and I'm really happy to achieve it alongside my teammate Olivia Clues. I couldn't have done it without her.
We just spoke earlier to the guys up top. That transition, how hard was that?
Oh, I am not a runner, so I just had to gas it. And definitely iron training paid off on a Wednesday arvo.
That is why the coach is always telling you to push, because we need these to get the results. Unreal, mate.
Thank you so much, and thank you to my surf coaches, Michael Clues and Andrew Dennehy, and my swim coaches, Cameron Gledhill and Lachlan Van Tempest.
Dawn Melbourne, ladies and gentlemen, you're under 14 Ironwoman champion.
Thank you.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen.
This is so good. Oh, and here we go. Fantastic. Thank you so much for putting these replays down here. We're seeing the joy, the elation, and the bit of shock and horror of taking out your Australian Ironwoman champ. But look at that wave that came through behind. Northcliffe just got swallowed up by the crowd there. That is tough.
You can't race against that momentum of a pack coming from behind you. But full credit to this young lady. She knew she won it as soon as she got that wave.